Hey, good morning. Tony LaPorta here with NakedTrader.com. Well, as we all know, it was a good day for America, a good day for the rest of the world. As my readers know, it was not a good day for me. I was short. I got short on Friday on the close, and I wrote in my weekend commentary. I don't know. I don't know who was watching the markets on Friday after Wall Street closed, but in the 15 minutes until the pit session closed, the S&Ps took off, the Dow futures took off, and the Nasdaq futures took off higher. That is, and and because of the monthly closes, they closed them back where the markets are trading at 3 o'clock. But on Sunday, these markets opened higher, and I wrote in my weekend commentary that the last time I seen something like this was the last day of 2010, and on that 2011, or on that weekend commentary back then, I put out a TLP gut trade because I'd seen it in the past. These major squeezes in the last 15 minutes, something was up, and I don't know. I don't know. I always like to say wherever there's money, there's corruption. On Friday, obviously the attack wasn't until Sunday night, but someone knew something. I still feel someone knew something because the indices from the close in the last 15 minutes spiked higher and opened higher on Sunday evening and took off on the news. So we are due to gap open higher this morning from what looked like a market that was struggling higher. These indices, on Tuesday of last week we had a big range in the S&Ps and the Dow futures, and then every day the ranges got smaller. And in a market that's climbing, you're not supposed to be getting smaller ranges with smaller volumes. And that was a warning flag for me. Now this morning we're going to gap open higher. Obviously the news is good. Wave the flag. Woo woo woo. Here we go again. I obviously took my medicine last night. Thank you very little. And I sit here this morning with trying to take a technical look at the stock market. And what I know now is, obviously the Dow futures and the Nasdaq futures are going to gap open higher. The Dow futures and the S&P futures gap open higher. The Nasdaq futures are going to open very close to Friday's highs, and the weekly highs from last week, which were like 14 and 3/4, something along those lines. So what I'm seeing in the Dow futures and the S&P futures, if they do not fill these gaps and the markets close near their intraday highs, what the gaps that we will have in place will be measuring gaps, and then I'll do all my measuring that I need to do, and I'll put it out in my commentaries, and I'll probably put it out here as well. The objectives from these gaps. Those are all big ifs. The markets, with 25 minutes before the opening, if the S&Ps and the Dow futures open at these levels where they're trading right now, we will have gap open higher markets, and if the gaps aren't filled, then these will definitely be measuring gaps, and we could come up with some objectives for this move. So a lot to play into this. What is this? Is this news really that good? It's the only thing I know is the shorts are going to get squeezed. I know last night the bond market came off, but now that's firming up as well. The dollar caught a bid, but that's losing its momentum. I'm looking at the euro 148.30, so we're right back to, I think it traded down to like 147.44, so that's had a nice bounce as well. The only currency that's remained under pressure is the yen. So we will see how this all plays out. I had some interesting, my featured chart in my weekend commentary was a bond chart. It was actually an ETF chart, and I have some plays here. I want to sell these bond markets again, but I'm looking at the ETF chart, and I'm going to base everything on that. So if you are like me and a little bit bearish these treasury markets, I have some levels to initiate some short trades. So get a hold of me. Get a hold of me through Naked Trader. Send Jill an inquiry, and we'll get you on the readers list, and you can see where these levels where and why, and why when there's gaps involved basically, and when these gaps are filled, then I want to start selling again. So that's about all I have. Mind your eye today, and again, it was a good thing what happened last night. Unfortunately, I was on the wrong side, but that's I was on the right side when the tsunami was when the tsunami was happening in Japan. So that's about all I have. Tony LaPorta with NakedTrader.com signing off.